Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 11 of Impact Makers. We're sitting here today, Dustin, at the beginning of the last week of July. And as we reflect upon, where we sit in the calendar, it's interesting. We're not too far removed from July 15th, so it starts to make you wonder, is it April repeating, or, what does that mean? And as we started reflecting upon it, we realized, if you look at some 90-day windows, we're big on, 90-day game plans, 90-day action items. We like to call them 90-day sprints. 90 days from now, we're at the end of, the end of October, and then 90 days from that, we're in the middle of January. Now that's, those 90-day windows are somewhat tax focused. Yes, I'm biased. I used to be a technical tax guy. But those deadlines still seem to drive within CPA firms. But on top of that, really, our friends in audit, it's like all across the board with how they're doing, how they've handled the move to remote. It seems like, the different industries that they're in is impacting things differently. But, again, focusing it back into, maybe looking at those 90-day windows, I just wanted to pause and kind of ask you, Dustin, as you sit here again, end of July, what does that make you start thinking about, what firms should be thinking about, looking forward to, so on and so forth?
Yeah, it's really two things. One is you correctly identified it that we see a couple of two different 90-day sprint opportunities for CPA firms over the next 6 months to get them into the 2021 busy season and opportunities beyond that. That's one point. The other is I can't help, and we've both brought this up in recent weeks. We can't help but point out from our friend Brian Kite in his methodology that E plus R equals O. The event plus your response equals the outcome. And it's very easy with everything that's going on in our world today to get overwhelmed by the events and kind of just go into a shell and not have a great response, either individually or as a firm, which is then going to lead to not a great outcome for individually or for your firm. And so I really think it is a fundamental mindset that firms can either have a positive response to the events that are occurring and control the outcomes to be more favorable, or they can go on the shell and collectively say, woe is us, and be further behind than they were when 2020 started. And we like to focus on both our business as well as with our clients in recent months. There's opportunity out there. You might have to dig deeper for it. You might have to get more innovative for it, but there's opportunity, and that's what I really see as a focus point that we should be discussing with firms. What are your thoughts on that, Michael, in terms of the opportunity and maybe being a little bit more innovative to find it?
I definitely think there's opportunity there, Dustin, and I do want to give a shout out to your alma mater, the Ohio State University. That's where I first learned about E plus R equals O, reading Urban Meyer's book. And I think he co-wrote that with Tim Kite. Yep. So we like giving credit where credit's due. So I want to make sure that we are all encompassing with where we get the E plus R equals O. But I look at it as looking at what can CPA firms do. Let's contextualize it for them. When you look at your response, I think you can pick: am I going to go on offense or am I going to go on defense? And I think firms should look at both. I think they have a great opportunity with these two 90-day windows. Look at where they're going to be 3 months from now, look at where they're going to be 6 months from now. And I think there's some defense that they can take to successfully get through October 15th, get into the end of October. But then they need to be thinking offense now for what can they do to hit the ground running late October, early November to be ready. And, really it comes back to, it sucks that you're that close to 2021, but you can't do anything about it. It is what it is. So again, it goes back to that simple formula. How are you going to respond?
Yeah, that's what is within your control. You can't control events, but you can control your response. And how effective you are with that response is really going to dictate how successful your organization is going to be in the coming year or two.
Yep, and just to give a shout out to a couple of firms that we've worked at. We're not big at the naming the names on them, but there are firms that are taking a proactive approach. And so if you are one of those firms, listening to that, don't hesitate to reach out to us and figure out what are some strategies. Take a deeper dive in for you individually and you as your firm. What are some strategies that you could be focused on to get ready for 2021?
Well, we've got some personal experience with that too, and that we've really focused on our R factor the last 3 months, and it's paid off significantly. I mean, you look at our last 30 days, man, it's been nonstop and filling the calendar quickly. It's all about thinking about things differently, identifying innovative new ways to not only deliver but services that you can offer, and having just a spirit of positivity with all the negativity that surrounds us.
Right on, Dustin. I couldn't agree more. So, like we said, everybody, you can only control how you respond in these given situations. And so we hope that you find that helpful. And until the next time, take care.
Bye, everyone.